Hey, welcome everybody. All you great fans and followers that are Cavalier Family participants and supporters. So today's show, I kind of jumped the gun a little bit, but I told Todd and I said I want to practice just in case something happens where he gets sick or decides to go to Brazil or China or someplace where we just don't know. So I'm going to be doing part of the show, and then I'm going to hand it off whenever I just feel like he needs to participate. So let's start off with our introduction. So we are independent studio, and on the show we will be discussing live entertainment from big screen movies down to our favorite independent films, TV shows, cartoons, and video games. We'd like to thank Kevin Holmes, who did the intro and outro video, along with Justin Dye, who created many of the musical elements for us. Now, I'm going to throw this over to Todd because, of course, I'm sure there's updates that I do not know about. So, Todd, what kind of Cavalier updates do we have?
Yeah, so the updates that we actually currently have, a few days ago, we actually launched a merchandise website on Teespring. It is a website where a lot of their stuff, you can actually put designs on T-shirts and stuff, and they can actually fulfill it for you. So it kind of takes out the middleman of the middleman, I guess. So we do have a merchandise store that's out there that has the logos for Cavalier Family, a lot of the previous shows as well, such as I believe this show is on there currently right now. 1980 is on there, and a few other shows as well. I do know that there is one series of merchandise that's out there right now that is for a future show. And a lot of the stuff is themed around our show as well. So for an example, one is inspired by E.T. There are two of them that are out specifically for this one that pertains to Beetlejuice, as well as Beetlejuice, as well as Beetle.
Don't say it the third time. That's not a good thing.
As well as Indiana Jones as well. So there are shirts out there. There are coffee mugs. There are tumblers. There are bags. Again, the shirts are good for anybody out there. Even toddlers have them too. Sweaters, stuff like that. So the link for that is actually in the description below. So all purchased items actually doesn't go, it all goes towards what we are trying to do, the independent filming, the podcasting, as well as everybody who creates a story within our group and want to, be able to see that become a thing. That's what the funding are there for. It's basically funding for our projects. So, of course, show the support. I know we've already had a few people purchase some stuff to show their support. Again, we even have one line where it's the big tuxedo, because it's a tuxedo for everybody. So yeah, that's basically the mainstream for the updates right now. Again, the link is in the description below.
Fantastic. That sounded like you had that prepared or something. Definitely not improv. All right. So before we go any farther, I want to introduce the one and only TJ. Welcome back, TJ. I believe that you've been on the show before when I wasn't. So,
were you on the show before? Yeah, first timer here.
Oh, well, I guess I was drinking that night a little bit too much. Okay.
That's all good.
So, TJ, well, welcome to your first time. So, pretty much we'll start off by asking you a few questions. So, one thing I'm interested in is this Rock Detention podcast. Is that true? Like you do your own podcast?
On my own, but we have one. It's me and two buddies, and so I do have a podcast, but it's not just mine. So, like last year, kind of, my buddy called me and he's like, "Hey, let me loop you in with my other buddy," and then he left the conversation, and then we started talking 80s, and I'm like, "Guys, we should just start a podcast because people, I mean, everyone's got one, but if people like what you talk about, there you go." And so it started with a talk about Def Leppard, and then it turned into 80s, and then rock and roll, and decided to do it, and now we're almost 50 episodes in.
Nice, congratulations. Now, what kind of music apps are you on?
We're on just about everything. We haven't transitioned over into India yet. Apparently, it's hard to get over, and that's a lot of people over there. But it's, I guess, we're pretty much everywhere: Amazon, Google, iTunes. Just that's typical podcast formats. Then YouTube, we go live when we do a podcast. I was gonna say every Tuesday, but most Tuesdays we go live, and that's all. You get what you get instead of edited and all the good stuff. It's the good, bad, ugly, technical difficulties, the whole work. So
Hey, you know what? We're all human. So, bottom line, from what I'm understanding, is anybody can follow you guys on like Spotify, iTunes, like all the major podcast, I guess, platforms. Then, right?
absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, I got to check that out. So, Todd, apparently you have a question that is listed next to Todd's name. So I'll let you go, Todd.
Well, first off, like I have seen TJ's podcast live on YouTube and stuff, and one of my favorite ones though is the tribute to Ed Van Halen. Van Halen. That was actually one of my favorites. But with this, of course, you obviously have provided the backstory and everything. What kind of I do know from what I have seen is you actually had some special guests. I do know you had a bassist or a guitarist from Hell Yeah, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, Christian Brady from Hell Yeah, great guy.
Yep.
Yep. And
What
actually,
other?
we were gonna do an episode with him. I think the week before he was on, or 2 weeks before, and then Eddie Van Halen died, and so that was one of his favorite guitarists. So he wanted to
Mhm.
push it back, and so we just did. All right, well, we'll improv and we'll do an Eddie Van Halen tribute episode, and that's how that one came about.
Nice. Well, what other guests have you had?
Mr. Daniel Knight, bassist for a lot of bands. He worked with Billy Ray Cyrus, actually. We were actually going to have Dr. Fink, the keyboardist from Prince of the Revolution, on Tuesday, but he got stuck at rehearsal, so we had to improv another episode. But who else? We've had Ryan Hayes and Justin Olmsted from Righteous Vendetta. Great rock band. I mean, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but they are phenomenal people, and I'm trying to think all the guests we've had. 'Cause we've had a lot. Good buddy Keith Robert out in Vegas. He's in an AC/DC tribute band out there. If you're out in Vegas, I think they've only done one show, but I think they got more to come. I used to guitar tech for Twisted Sister, and he's played with Dee Snider, and I'm trying to run down the list. But yeah, we've had a few fun ones, and more to come. So,
do you have a favorite?
Man, yes and no. I shouldn't say a favorite, but like,
yeah, don't answer that.
Yeah,
He's messing with you, dude. It's all a setup, kind of like wives. They set it up and go, does this dress
they're all
make me
fun.
look fat?
They're all very fun. But I mean,
Nice.
you go back and listen to some episodes, and you look back. Some were more fun than others, and some there's no technical difficulties, so it's already a win right there. And there's some where you have to scrap the whole episode because you don't have somebody's mic working or something. So. So that's the one problem with going live, but it is what it is,
Yeah, like our little technical difficulties in the beginning, which is why we kind of
no one saw it. Now you just gave it away.
I mean, we ran late a little bit, so
this is the perfect plug for my podcast. Is I don't feel tardy.
I see what you did there. In case if anybody doesn't know, that's their little tagline is "Don't be tardy."
And we were tardy today.
Fashionably late.
I like it. That's what the tux is for, right? The tux shirts. Go buy them now.
Exactly. Tux shirts made for everybody. You have all types of individuals in there. Plus, a little support for the LGBTQ plus is in there too. So, everybody of every generation, of every skin tone, there you go.
Rock and roll.
Lee, did you have any other questions?
No, I was just going through your layout here since this is the first time I did the show, and like apparently I jumped the gun to my question where I was like, where can we find rock detention? But apparently I already asked that at the beginning. So next one was TJ, answer it. He already answered, and then you guys got involved with guests and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. So now it's your turn again, apparently.
Well, I mean, we here on the Cavalier Family Show is we like to support artists and people who show their creativity and want to make sure that their voice are being heard, especially, Rock Detention, Cavalier Family, a lot of these shows, we want to make sure that everybody is aware of them, whether if, diehard fans to new people actually go in the show. And of course, with that, TJ and his friends, and hopefully we get both TJ and the rest of the crew on someday, depending on the day. We'd love to have all of you guys on here just to have a little discussion and everything. But of course, you can't have rock detention without actually knowing a musical instrument, right? So, does anybody in your podcast actually play any musical instruments?
Yeah, well, I pretend to play. I just have the hair and I look pretty. And then Zach is a phenomenal guitarist. Zach Henning, if you want to follow him or look him up, Facebook, Instagram, the whole works. And then Robin Mordecai on the drums, typically. He can also play some keys. But yeah, Zach's a shredder. And he can play bass too, as a lot of guitarists can. But he's in his right element when he's on the guitar. I'd say that. And I think Robin is he prefers do the drum thing. He could play bass too, but those are shout out to my boys. And yeah.
Now, are you guys in one central location? Or are you guys
no,
all
so
spread
that's
out?
what's been crazy. So Zach was in Austin, Texas for a little while. And so was Robin, and then I've been up in Minnesota. But now Zach's in Nashville and Robin's still in Austin. So we have a little triangle going on from covering the north, south, and I guess southeast.
I mean, as Leah's showing there, like obviously all of us are even from different states. Like I'm down here in Florida. Obviously, by the
Jealous.
hat, you can tell that Lee's from Tennessee. I mean, weather-wise, it's getting better, but I mean, during the summer, not so much. And then obviously, you just told everyone yourself that you're from Minnesota. So, I mean, it's all different parts of the world itself. But did you guys ever, like, how often do you guys actually hang out and see each other?
So believe it or not, Robin and I haven't officially met in person. And Zach and I haven't seen each other in probably almost 2 years. But we'll get something going. But it's crazy that we could we run a podcast and it's like we see each other every day, but also haven't actually in person. But we're gonna get a trip planned and we're gonna try and do a few remote podcasts and see how it goes.
Okay. Now, how does it take a lot to get that podcast going?
I mean, it's as
Like,
far
what
as
goes
like
into, I guess, a day-to-day thing? Because, like, for this specifically, like, there's research that involves it. There's other things that involves with it. Obviously, just like how you already have experienced getting the special guest on and stuff like that. Same thing with us. But does anything go into research for you guys? Like, how do you get your show going?
it's tough. I mean, we just kind of started it and we're like, all right, let's just do this. Let's see what happens. And I'd never forget, like, the first episode we did, like, we literally went live and then had nothing to say. Like, it was like we were, like, on stage for the first time. We just didn't know what to do. And then we kind of came up with topics for, I think, the second one, like, top 5 fictional bands, or maybe that was the third one, something like that. So it just got a little more flow to it each and every episode. But it was weird. Like, we just didn't have anything to say, don't know what to do, but we kind of knew enough people or reached out to enough people where we kind of got our footing and then started having guests. And then, I mean, we could promote better, I'm sure, as most people, but we don't social media enough. But I mean, as far as some of the stuff goes, like, I'll make some of the pictures or the YouTube, like, actual picture that goes onto the YouTube channel, or like the logo, and then just like the actual episode, I'll put like the guest down right below, and just stuff like that with posting. But I mean, we got over 100 subscribers, so we finally have an official YouTube channel, as opposed to like XQ29er34. Instead of youtube.com/that, we got youtube.com/rock detention.
Well, that's awesome, because like we're still in the whole youtube.com/XYZ1246 question mark.
Surprisingly a good feeling. And I remember we actually were going to go live. We did go live because we were going to change the YouTube link. And I was at a fantasy baseball draft. And we all did a FaceTime call. And I like skipped picking up a bunch of players in my fantasy draft, just like lit it auto draft. And we got to the YouTube channel. We're live. And then it said, change it yet. It's like, oh, come on. So there's another technical difficulty we've had. So it took like 24 hours after we got over 100 subscribers to actually be able to change the link.
Well, that's
And
awesome, though.
and just a heads up, I think once you change it, you can't change it without going through a bunch of loopholes or something like that. So some words of wisdom for when you guys get over 100 here. Hopefully after this episode.
That would be nice.
Well, we have you. That should like pole vault us like past like 300.
It should. Then hopefully maybe I get a couple, or we get a couple. Rock attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of our subscribers go over to you. Some of your subscribers go over to us. So it'd be great,
We'll take them all. We'll take them all.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like, they'll never see you back on here anyways, because, I mean, once a guest, always a guest. So
I'm gonna be on every episode then. Be careful what you say, bro.
Which, I mean, people can, I know with us, they can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and of course, all the handles are down below in the description as well. The only thing that's different is, of course, the Instagram. Unfortunately, somebody took Cavalier Family, and it just has a bunch of Cavalier Cocker Spaniels on there. Which, I mean, okay, that makes sense, and I'll give it to them because it's dogs. So it's Cavalier Family Studios is where you can find us on Instagram. But one more time, TJ, where can everybody find you?
Like you said, actually, well, Facebook, YouTube. I mean, YouTube's our big. If you want to watch us live, that's what we do. But it's available after the fact. But all the podcast formats, except if you're in India, I apologize. I don't know what the rules are for that, but maybe someday. But yeah, Rock the Tension. It's just I think Rock the Tension podcast on Facebook, and then Rock the Tension on Instagram is our handle. And then we have a Twitter, but we never post. It's usually Instagram and Facebook. And in our Instagram, in our bio, we actually have a little link tree up that will guide you anywhere you want to go. And we don't have merch yet. We're not as cool as you guys, but we're working on it. I did order a prototype shirt, and we got work to do, but we'll get it done. We'll get some merch up. Maybe some mouse pads or something cool.
Well, if you get a mouse pad, I'll be sure to buy one because mine's getting a little nasty. So
I was gonna say I don't even use it. I haven't used a mouse pad in forever. I'm always on my laptop.
Yeah, work, actual work.
Good old work. Well, after this episode, we could retire with all the subscribers. Free ads.
Well, you just got one more. I just went to Rock Detention YouTube channel and subscribed.
Look at that. Here we go.
Yeah.
There you go. You got another one.
Just after the show, I'm just going to unsubscribe. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I think. I think I unsubscribed when we were at like 99 or something, just so I could be like the 100th.
That's pretty slick. I like that idea.
Yeah. Actually, I did. Actually, I think the 100th subscriber is somebody randomly in Denver that probably doesn't even listen. Hopefully they do. If you are out there, awesome. Don't know who it is, but I texted my sister or called her or something. I said, I'll literally Apple Pay you money if you can. I'll buy your next round of drinks because she was at the bar, I think, and I'll buy your next round for you and whoever you're with if you can go get 3 subscribers or something like that. And 2 minutes later, she's like, done. I'm like, there you go.
That's actually smart marketing in a way.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe they tune in. I mean, it just takes one person to tell another person, and a million more, and then you get some YouTube ads going.
That's where you guys were going with the conversation. When he said smart marketing, I'm like, oh, cool, get some drunk people. This will be amazing. But apparently it didn't go that direction that I thought. Never mind.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, if you're at the bar, it never hurts to, if I had business cards, whatever. Maybe one of these days. We'll see.
Yeah, we haven't hit that.
You can't do that at a bar. You know darn well they're going to lose the business card. They're going to probably hand it over as if it's cash or something to pay their tab.
Somebody will eventually pick it up. Maybe they throw it on the streets too. A pigeon picks it up and it makes its way to California, and with the business card still in its mouth, and some producer sees it. I don't know. That's just how things work, I guess.
Maybe.
I did get a B+ in marketing class, so that was
remember it. It's been so
15 years ago, though.
I got nothing. Mine's been I don't know, 20 years. It's like after I got married, I lost a lot of memory or something. I don't even remember saying I do. But, that's in the past. Apparently the ring is proof enough.
Fair enough. That's what it resembles.
Apparently, I mean, I was like, where in the hell did I get this thing? But apparently that's not a good conversation to have with your wife when she's having a bad day. But it is what it is.
Or do it live on YouTube so she can watch it later.
Yeah, kind of like what we're doing now. Like, where in the hell did I get this one? So, just out of curiosity, TJ, have you watched any recent movies or anything?
I mean, I did watch Old last night, the new M. Night Shyamalan.
Really?
And I mean, I always I'll give M. Night Shyamalan the benefit of the doubt all the time because Signs is one of my favorites. Unbreakable. He just had so many good little. I mean, even The Village got a bad rap. But anyways, Old. I run it on Apple or iTunes on my Apple TV. It was $6 with change, so what, $6.37 or whatever. About, I'd say, an hour-ish into it, I was like, it's still worth $6, but I'm a little disappointed. But then the ending came, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that was a fun little movie.
See, I have yet to watch it. I do want to watch it because the same thing, M. Night Shyamalan is a hit or miss for me. Like, you go strong with Signs, Unbreakable, Split. Like, those are some of his strong movies that he's actually done. And then you go to, like, Lady in the Water.
I was gonna say, I didn't see Lady in the Water, but I do remember
That's a good movie.
See, that's why Lee is on here, because of the fact of, I have different viewpoints than he does. He goes in just for the movie aspect. I go in because I look at certain things. So there you go. That is kind of like the split personality of this show, is the fact of Lee liked it. I am not a fan of it. I did, and the one movie that was disappointing for a lot of people was Mr. Glass.
Oh yeah, didn't he do? Was it Devil or something? The elevator one? I never saw it, but I remember it coming out.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, he did that one too.
I might have to go watch that.
I do want to watch Old, though. It looks intriguing. It looks interesting. It has an interesting concept to it. To me, it seems like the reverse version of Benjamin Button, but on a beach.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything. It's something like you just got to watch it. Like, because if I tell you even just little snippets, it could ruin literally everything.
So bottom line, watch the trailer first, and then go watch the movie.
I think you just go watch the movie, and then
okay, there you go. Go watch the movie.
The whole time. I mean, you save yourself 2 minutes not watching the trailer. 2 minutes 33 seconds. If you get a YouTube ad in there, that's another 15 seconds. We're almost up to 3 minutes.
That's half of a pee break for me.
See, there you go. It's a long pee, by the way, but.
So, in your opinion, why should people watch this movie?
The ending, it's kind of like M. Night Shyamalan. I don't know. You must have watched the Twilight Zone a lot, because I love the Twilight Zone, like the original, like Rod Serling. And there's always, you're like, nothing's gonna happen in this episode. It's finally, this is stupid. Then you're like, holy shit. Okay, like there's been so many, like there's never been a Twilight Zone episode where I'm like, I knew it. That was stupid. There's always a twist. It doesn't matter. And like some episodes are better than others, sure, but there's always a twist. Even if there's like a minute left in the episode, there's always a twist.
I like him. He's cool. Why can't he be on more shows, Todd?
I mean, he's very can. I mean, the option.
Yeah, once a guest,
there.
Always a guest, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've had Justin on here twice already, so why not DJ, Justin? I mean, shit, let's just bring 18 people. Well, no, that's a little too much, but let's just, bring 4 or 5 people in, and then there you go.
So 5 people on a show tends to be kind of challenging, just to say the least.
We've done 4, or technically 5, but we've had there was one time we did it separate. 5's about the max I think you could probably get away with. You could do 6, but then it just turns into chaos.
Yep.
Either that, or someone's really quiet, or people are talking over each other. Like even 3 people will talk over each other sometimes, especially with different internet connections and all that stuff.
And you always have that one person in the background go, but.
Yeah, that's why we did the raise your hand method like this.
So to answer that question, recently movies watched, I can't really say that I've seen any movies. I've been attached to my Xbox One. Just recently an update came out since this show can also discuss video games. I've been playing Grounded on Xbox One, and it launched, what was it, last year? And it was in beta. Like, it would literally crash when you saved a game, so your game would never save. You'd lose all your stuff. And it just came out with a new update, and I thought I jumped at spiders. Nah, no. They have some crap insects in the sandbox that pops out like freaking the worm from Beetlejuice. And you're like running for your life. And as you're running through this darn sandbox, you're dying from the heat of the sandbox. And then all of a sudden, 2 more pop up right in front of you. And then guess what runs out? Your stamina. So you can't swing your weapon and you can't run any faster. So you're taking hits and you're like, yep, I'm going to die. But I've been playing the game Grounded. Just came out with an update. Great game if you guys haven't played it.
I just beat Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
I haven't played it yet. Still waiting for that PlayStation 5.
It was rather short to me. Like, without doing the 100% thing, I was like, how's it? I beat it? Now, on a different level, I was late to the party on this game, but I paid, I think it was like $10. I think it was $10 at Target one day. Bloodborne on PS4. The most frustrating, one of the top games up there for me. It was an achievement beating it. Like, it felt so good, but the whole ride there was so frustrating. I'm surprised there's not a crack in my TV and a broken controller somewhere.
So it's similar to Dark Souls?
So yeah, it's kind of, I think it's like a loosely like spiritual kind of game of that. I think it's like the same creator or something, but yeah, I never got into Dark Souls, but Bloodborne was a lot of fun, but even the first level, I was like, what the hell? I almost quit right away.
So it's kind of funny because back when I was like 21, 22, my brother bought me a video game. It was called Summoner. And I think it was on like PlayStation. Mm-hmm. And when I first put it in, I'm like, this thing is horrible. Don't like it. Don't like the gameplay. Don't like the controller. And I'm like, my brother never bought me really anything because he's always been in the, doing different things outside the house. Like, he moved out of the house very early age. So I'm like, I'm going to continue to play this. And I'm with you, man. Like, when I started playing it, I didn't like it. And then when I finally beat it, I'm like, yes, I beat it. That was good. And I'm like, wow, I actually liked it. And, some of my old-time friends, I've told them about Summoner, and they're like, dude, that game was horrible. I'm like, no, it wasn't. You had to finish it. But yeah, I'm with you.
Well, if this was 1996 podcast, I was going to say Super Mario RPG is still, to this day, my favorite game of all time.
Nice. All right. Well, talking about that year, let's do our segment, our transition video for 1989. Todd, are you ready?
I mean, I'm ready to jump back in time. Are you, TJ?
I'm always ready.
All right, let's do this. Let's jump back in time.
All right.
We're there.
Yes. So, TJ, I know that we were discussing top TV shows earlier. Did you want to go over the top TV shows for classic? What is it? Classic-TV.com.
That's a resource, dude. So it's top five.
So
top
that's
five
the
TV
bibliography.
Yeah, that's
shows,
the resource for the list.
Hey, at least people know where we're getting this, and we're just not making it up from our next door neighbor who was born in 1989.
That's a free plug for classic-tv.com.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so top 5, boys. The Cosby Show coming in at number 1. Is this in order, Todd?
Yes.
Okay. Number 1, The Cosby Show. Great show. Roseanne coming in at number 2. I started to like that show a lot more as I got older. Cheers, number 3, really surprising. I suppose that was towards the end of its run, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Different World, number 4. And then, surprisingly, this was a newcomer in 1989, but a great show as well. Rounding out the top 5, America's Funniest Home Videos. The good old Bob Saget days.
Yes, the good old Bob Saget days. I remember when that came out. Out of the whole list, though, I believe I watched America's Funniest Home Videos the most.
It's like always on like Sunday nights, and it was like right after dinner or during dinner. It was like the perfect show to put on.
Yeah.
See, I lost interest in it when like they would pick like the top 3, and I'm like, okay, they hand chose those.
Oh, well, they're never the funniest. It's the blooper reel that's always the best.
Like, baby gets kicked in the butt by cat. And it's like, what? That wasn't even funny, The guy who runs into a sliding glass door when he's drunk at a bar with, a business card in his hand. That shit was funny.
Yeah.
You know, business card goes flying. Look, free advertisement.
And
All
then
right,
Pigeon grabs
Todd,
it.
go for it. Go to our next topic, which is the top cartoons.
All right. So with that, of course, the resources that we got, throughout all the years, it's not an exact list, as again we go by number of seasons, number of shows as well. So we kind of narrow it down from that point. So number one was Paddington Bear. That went from 89 to 90 for 13 episodes. Number two is Further Adventures of Super Ted series. That was from 1989 to 1990. That had a run of 13 episodes. Obviously, surprisingly, this was number three, but it's not surprising on how many episodes it's had. It's The Simpsons, and that went from 1989 to now, and as everyone knows, there's over 700 episodes there. Beetlejuice, the cartoon, went from 89 to 91. Beetlejuice also had 94 episodes, and Beetlegeist was again number four. And then number five is going with Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers from 89 to 90 with 65 episodes.
Great show.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. God, I remember.
Chip and Dale.
Ooh, we gotta sing
Rescue
it.
Rangers.
Do you continue to sing as you keep on drinking?
Oh, it's an energy drink, so we'll see what happens.
All right, man.
Gotta love those energy drinks at 8
more
p.m.
of those.
Yep.
But we don't condone drinking that many energy drinks. It is bad for your health. So if you just fall over, I mean, we can still call 911.
I stick to the recommended dosage. Like, I don't max out over 400 milligrams a day, typically. Might make an exception for a podcast, but...
Yeah, Todd gave me a bang one day. Oh my God, the first time I've ever had it, 300 milligrams in like one freaking thing. I was drinking water the rest of the day because I felt like I was gonna go out and like bungee jump off the back porch just because I felt the need to. I was like, holy crap, dude. Anywho,
You should try Zoa.
Huh?
You should try Zoa.
No, I'll pass to you.
I'm
back on Link.
I do like those. I can't remember what flavor I like. I think it's like mango or something, or the lime. I can't remember. I just don't like the 16-ounce energy drink for the most part anymore. I like the nice 12-ounce. Like, if it's beer, yeah, bring on 25-ounce mug. That's fine. But when it's energy drinks, I just like a nice little 12-ounce.
So how many milligrams are Zoas?
180 or something? 150?
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Zoa
It's got the rocks.
energy
Yeah,
drink.
it's got the rocks name all over it. So.
Yeah, but I know he's kind of spanned away from the cartoons. But yeah, like as far as cartoons go, like my biggest memory is obviously The Simpsons. Spanning that time period, and I still watch it every once in a while if nothing's on. I do remember Beetlejuice too, that classic little cartoon. Obviously, Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, that was a remake. But I know, TJ, you specifically had your own little list before starting the show. You kind of wanted to.
Oh, I've got shows and movies, and it's tough. Are we doing movies?
Not yet.
Hey,
no.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. But you know what? I'm sorry, TJ. I forgot about that. What was your top 5 in TV shows?
So this is tough. But so anything, I did the list based on what came out in '89.
Okay.
And this, I think 1 and 2. Maybe not in the exact order, but probably in this order. For sure, The Simpsons and Seinfeld. And Seinfeld was always on like after The Simpsons, and I never watched it because I was young, and I'm like, this is stupid. Then I got older, and I'm like, I want to watch Seinfeld all the time. This is going to be tough. This is where it's tough. I might do some honorable mentions, but I think Chip and Dale's up there. I don't know if it makes the cut. But Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
Tales from the Crypt.
Yes.
I think Hey Dude's in there. I haven't seen it in a while, but I used to watch that show all the time. And then I got Cops, American Gladiators. Baywatch I never really watched that much. I didn't know Dragon Ball Z started in '89, by the way.
That was, it started in '89, and then
Which is
because
crazy.
Dragon Ball came obviously before that, and that was earlier in the '80s. I think like 87, 88, something like that.
So then I got a couple honorable mentions. Babar, never really watched it, but that little elephant guy, I always remember him. And then McGee and Me. And then, let's see what else do I have. Family Matters. Gotta love Steve Urkel. And then we can't forget the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
I
It was
remember that one.
it was like live action. Dudes pretended to be Mario and Luigi, and then they cut to like the cartoon. It was awesome.
Yep.
I remember the cartoon vaguely, but I don't remember anything of live action though.
Yeah, so it was like, I mean, they looked pretty good. I mean, it was right before the movie came out, so it wasn't Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, but they did like a little intro. I remember it. I don't know if it was the morning or what, but there was a lot of stuff on in the morning growing up. And it always changed. Then you get your afternoon cartoons, and come to think about it, I think I watched too much TV growing up, and still do. But I enjoy it, I guess.
I mean, one can say I did the same, but look where that brought me.
Yeah, we got our own podcast now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the good old age of technology, right?
Yes, sir. Which, by the way, Restream seems to be, I don't want to switch subjects, but looks like Restream works pretty cool. I might have to start using this.
Well, monthly subscription is like $40 some every month, and that will be able to stream on a lot of platforms.
Does it do like Facebook Live and stuff too?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. So basically, as far as Facebook Live goes, and I do apologize, but I'm actually giving my wife kind of a look right now because we're leaving for vacation, and of course she's pregnant and she's wheeling down a suitcase from the second floor.
Then what is the husband doing? Oh, that's right. He's doing a show.
He's trying to sell merchandise. Merchandising.
But anyways, yeah. So the live video feed on Facebook, I'm actually streaming on both my personal profile as well as Cavalier Family profile. Again, follow us, like us, leave a comment below. Got to plug that in. YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. Like Twitter actually had a connection with a sister company or like a different company to provide live videos. Now they're actually doing their own live videos. And there's other platforms that you could plug into. Unfortunately, I think Twitch is one of them. You can do Twitch as well. Unfortunately, Instagram is not part of it yet.
I think I did see that. Yeah, that's what we're. I don't know if there's anything that can stream there yet, to my knowledge.
Facebook itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Restream.
Cool.
All right, so it looks. Who's up next?
I think that's me.
Go.
Okay, so top toys. In the year that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, Barbie Dance Club, and the Real Ghostbusters, Barbie honestly didn't make this top 5, but the top 5 was the Sega Genesis, Game Boy, My Little Pony, He-Man action figure, and Polly Pocket.
Okay, first off, that little happy face is not because I dislike Barbie. Barbie is a strong female independent woman. You know, she has her own life. She has Ken. She raises kids. She's an air stewardess. She is a pilot. Like, she is so many things. But the reason for that is because Barbie has stolen if not the number 1, but number 2 spot on every single one of these episodes. So being able to see other toys actually take over that, it just brings a joyness. It just brings joyness. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, I picked a good year.
Yes, you did.
And I mean, it helps that I was born in it too. That was also part of '89. So. Yeah.
All right. And since those toys, okay, let's be real. Everybody knows the Sega Genesis and Game Boy. But the one that didn't surprise me was Polly Pocket. That was really, really popular back then. But the one that did surprise me was He-Man action figure.
I'd agree. That's awesome, but surprising.
Yeah. I mean, like Polly Pocket, I remember that little cute little Polly Pocket toys and everything. But
I remember, maybe Todd, you remember this one? I remember Mighty Max.
Yes.
Yeah, Mighty Max. Yeah, so Mighty Max was basically the boys' like Polly Pocket. I remember I had like the little. I don't know how I bought a bunch of those. I remember they had the game. That game was hard too. Back when you used to go to like Toys R Us, Funko Land, pick out games, Blockbuster, good old days.
Yeah, like I remember playing Sega Genesis specifically growing up because Lee had a Sega Genesis and used to play Sonic all the time. I forgot what other games he had in. Game Boy, I didn't actually own a Game Boy until the Advance came out. My cousin did, and he owned Zelda. So my first Game Boy game, though, I will say, was Pokemon Blue. It was on the Advance.
That a
and
kid? That's the way. People went
Yeah.
red. I went blue. People were like, you didn't
No,
get red?
I
I'm like,
went
no.
blue. Yeah, no,
But
I got blue. It was actually given to me. And of course, I'll put it on record right now. I didn't know it was stolen, but apparently it was stolen. But the kid that it was stolen from, he didn't care anyway. So he's like, you can just have it. So if I would have known that it was stolen to begin with, I would have given it to him. But, by giving his grace, I was happy to know that I was actually able to get my first Pokemon Blue game. But yeah, went with Charmander always.
that's a tough first level then, because you got rock against fire.
Mhm.
I was a squirrel dude.
You're a Squirtle?
Yeah.
Nah.
I remember the day my mom took me to buy it. Like, I remember like that day. I was like, well, it never hurts to ask. And I'm like, hey, can we go get Pokemon? She's like, sure. I'm like, all right. So
Yeah,
that's probably where my never hurts to ask philosophy started. Back at like 7, 8, 9 years old.
yeah. Like I picked up last year a Charizard card, the original Charizard.
If I find my cards, I had every hologram. Like, I'd be sitting on a gold mine, but I have no idea what happened to them. I know my parents' basement got flooded once. Probably got thrown out in the process, but they were all in a white binder with like the plastic ripped off and orange marker on it. So if anyone sees a binder with orange marker and the plastic ripped off with Pokemon cards in it, that's probably mine. I'll split the profits. We'll figure it out.
Hold on, let me go in the other storage room. You said you split the profit, right?
Yes, sir.
What other games did you have on Genesis, Lee?
Jurassic Park, Echo, the dolphin.
Honestly, I don't remember.
What was that one? The Beast game. Altered Beast, I think.
Yes. Yeah, that one was interesting because you actually fought and turned into like a werewolf and stuff.
Yeah.
And at the end of the level, you always, I don't know, like that game was always so hard for me.
Absolutely. But you started walking really slow as like this big buff dude, and then you get annihilated by whatever came your way. And then you turn into a werewolf. You're like, oh, this is a little easier, and then you die, and then you start over. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, because like
I don't think I ever got past
like
like the second level.
Yeah, it's so challenging. Well, okay, so true story. My wife actually bought me one of those modded Sega Genesis, like New Age, that has like 200 games on it, automatically on it. But the cool thing that she got was the one that you can actually use the original Sega Genesis cartridges along with it has storage.
Yep.
So I was playing Beastmaster, honestly, probably about 6, 7 months ago, and I realized the guy stands about like maybe, I don't know, 50% of the height of the television. Doesn't matter if you have a 50-inch screen or not. He stands like 50% the size of the TV. And then when you face the boss is like 100% of the screen and throws everything at you. It's like, how in the hell are you supposed to dodge when you take up half the screen already?
There's always
and then
patterns,
he gives you like
but
a gap of maybe, a Hot Wheels car to jump through. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to happen. Nah, I'm just going to die.
that's like Mega Man always did that to me too. Like all the Mega Mans they're fun, but they're tough.
Oh, and I was playing Rampage. That was fun.
That is fun. That
is fun.
You just know what you're doing. You're just trying to destroy buildings. That's it.
Oh, I love eating the cheerleaders that are down on the bottom screaming. Like, yeah. Mm.
The movie wasn't bad.
I agree.
like that movie. I mean, it was unexpected. I didn't know they were going to do it like that, but it had some good laughs. And I mean, anything The Rock touches seemingly is gold.
Doom.
Okay, well, even he made fun of that one.
Okay, that's the same. Okay, so that's the same concept, picking on Doom for The Rock as Ryan Reynolds as the Green Lantern. Like, if you actually watch the Green Lantern, I know he hated that movie, but for as cheesy as that movie was, he actually made that movie compared to any other actor, hands down. The Rock did the same thing. I mean, honestly, when The Rock is in the movie, there are certain actors or actresses that actually make the actual movie, and I guarantee if you switched it, okay, so we were talking about a movie, not to jump off topic, Aladdin. Can you imagine Sean Connery being the genie? No, ain't gonna happen.
No, but I can throw one person in there that could, be closest to Robin Williams.
All right, pick
Jack Black.
No, absolutely
No,
not. Jack
no.
Black does not have that comedy improv kind of thing going for him. No.
I'd agree.
Tenacious
I'd agree.
D. Pick a destiny.
No, he is great as a rocker. Like, honestly, like all his movies, like the way he presents himself is just his personality was great in Goosebumps. I mean,
Mhm.
that'd be the extent, but Tenacious D, phenomenal movie. What is it? House of Rock or School of
School of Rock,
Rock?
yep.
Great movie. When he played in Jumanji, fantastic, or not Jumanji, but what's that movie?
I mean, he did play in Jumanji though.
No,
Yeah,
it
both.
wasn't.
He
No,
did
no, no. I'm
Jumanji
thinking of
and
the one with the Rock and
yeah, Jumanji.
short guy.
Yeah,
Was it?
Jumanji.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it Jumanji?
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah.
They
The
did two.
remake. Okay, that's what
Yep,
I'm thinking.
yep.
I'm thinking the Robin Williams Jumanji. Okay.
Look at that. Look at we just tied Jumanji with Jack Black and Robin Williams after
Right.
all.
See, and that's how my brain works. But no, I mean, he was great because he presented himself as a female in that movie. So he was in an how do you say it? Unrealistic role that he was trying to pretend to be a female. That's what made him funny. There's no way you can convince me Jack Black would have been a better genie. Shit, Will Smith is a better genie than Jack Black.
I just think there's no way you can touch Robin Williams' genie.
No, there,
Thank you.
absolutely
Thank you.
not. There's no way
100%.
that you could touch it.
Like there's
But-
like no one's gonna touch Donkey in Shrek. You know,
Nope.
that's Eddie
No.
Murphy's.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe
The only reason-
you could have a different Shrek. I mean, Mike Myers is great, but you could maybe replace Shrek, but not Donkey.
Well, they did replace Shrek
I have not seen the
because
new Shrek.
originally it was supposed to be Chris Farley, and they actually
Oh well, yeah.
and they actually have.
I wonder what that
voiceovers
movie
with
would
Chris
have
Farley.
been like. Like,
I don't know. See, like the actual clip that I saw with his voice, it just brings a different Shrek to it. Like, obviously, you know, it's a different voiceover, different actor. You're going to have your differences there, but his was just. He seems very more menacing on the level, in a way, like how he portrayed it versus Mike Myers, which is like this, I guess, underdog. Going back to our last episode where we talked about underdogs, he just seemed more of like an underdog, lovable guy who people just didn't understand. Would I have loved to see a Chris Farley Shrek? Yeah, absolutely. I love Chris Farley. I mean, he lives in a van down by the river. I mean, there's nothing more that you can ask from him. But I don't know. The only reason why I say Jack Black is because of his ability to be loud, I guess, and kind of energetic when he can or when he has to. Yes, absolutely, hands down. Nobody will touch Robin Williams' genie. Nobody will do it better. I love Robin Williams. He's influence all the way, but I don't know. That
You know what
that
I
was
have to
my
say to
pick.
your comment? Your comment sounds sheepish. You're a bad boy.
So no more freebies.
All right, let's jump into these movies because honestly, number 5 I really want to talk about. But all right, TJ, you're up, buddy. Box office hits in the year 1996.
Interesting. I was just very surprised at this list. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm just surprised there's others that
Isn't that
weren't.
supposed to be 1989?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
typo.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
definitely a typo.
So box office hits year 1996. Oh, my bad. 1989. There you go. I just fixed it.
There you go. Yeah. So, well, we'll talk about the movies that didn't make this list, and then I've got a little list cooked up for you guys too. But in order, according to, do we have a source on this one, Todd? Is this
Yeah, it's,
IMDb?
Actually, yeah, it is IMDb. It's Box Office Mojo, but it's powered by IMDb.
There we go. Nice. Good plug. Coming in at number 1, Batman, starring Michael Keaton. Great
Sir.
movie and a great soundtrack by the one and only Prince. Rest in peace,
Mhm.
sir. Coming in at number 2, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. Coming in at number 3, Lethal Weapon 2. Great movie. Coming in at number 4 is Rain Man, which is surprising because that was released in 88, so it must have had a late 88 run and then got some money in 89 still to hold the spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is coming in at number 5 to run out the list. Great movie. Rick Moranis, genius. And I miss the little playground at Hollywood Studios. At the time, MGM Studios, but that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your list, folks. Top 5.
So what did make the list?
So this is, I mean, I've got some more to add to this, but notables, according to the notes from Todd, Dead Poets Society, another Robin Williams, great movie. Ghostbusters 2, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, one of my favorites. Be excellent to each other, everybody, and party on, and Do the Right Thing. Now,
Spike Lee movie.
if I may, I have some other ones, boys. Because you don't even have Back to the Future 2 on this list, Todd, as honorable mentions.
No, because that was actually going to be a segue into our next.
Well, then I never said that. But let me go through a couple that I have. And these might be some of my top 5. So I just watched it today, by the way. Little Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie. Howie Mandel. And Fred Savage and Ben Savage, the brothers. And you'll know, most people know Ben Savage from Boy Meets World. Weekend at Bernie's. Driving Miss Daisy.
Yep.
Turner and Hooch. And Tango and Cash. Field of Dreams. The Abyss. Major League. The Burbs. The Little Mermaid. Roadhouse. Say Anything with John Cusack, little boombox scene if you guys aren't familiar. When Harry Met Sally. The Wizard, another Fred Savage movie. The guy was on fire in '89 apparently. And 2 of my favorites, probably rounding out some of my top 5. I don't know what I'd pick for the top 5, but Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure for sure. Back to the Future 2's in there. But Uncle Buck and Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, '89 had like a monstrous box office as far as movies coming out.
I'm not saying I brought in all the good times in '89, but I kind of did.
Yeah, you did.
I mean, again, a lot of movies that are well known today came out in '89, and a lot of them actually had decent soundtracks, good soundtracks, stuff that when you hear now, you instantly get placed in the movie, like the Batman movie, like you're talking about with Prince.
I actually, sorry to cut you off. Speaking of that, I just actually got, about a month or 2 back, I got Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure soundtrack on vinyl.
And see, there you go. And then you go to Back to the Future Part 2. I mean, still, you have Huey Lewis in the News, and you have some other amazing instrumental work in there as well. And then you go to, Driving Miss Daisy, instant classic, one of the biggest movies that you can watch out of like 100 movies to watch before you die. That's on the list, absolutely. So, yeah, just a lot of good ones during that year.
Yes, sir. Awkward silence. Nice. I was waiting. I was gonna say something, but I thought somebody else was gonna say something, and then I think we all thought I was gonna say something. So yeah, awesome. Nice work, Todd.
And he wants 5 people on here. That'd be interesting.
Oh man, awkward silence with 5 people. That'd be great.
It would be great.
So just to give you a heads up, that game that I was saying that I played, Grounded?
Mm-hmm.
It is like the newer version of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But it's 4-player co-op.
Oof, too many people. I like to be a solo guy in video games for the most
you
part.
can be solo. You just die very fast.
Fair enough. I mean, unless it's Mario Kart. Mario Kart, bring them all on. Let's go.
Yep. But I'm telling you, it's a great game. Anywho. All right. Todd, your turn.
All right. So I guess with this, we jump into our next segment, which is Sell Me a Movie. Now, going back to the Future portion, TJ and I are huge Back to the Future fans. I mean, if you can't tell, the hat. And with that, we wanted to do something special for TJ. And I do know that a lot of the Sell Me a Movie, we pick one of the movies from the top 5 list. And then we have a debate. And we pretty much talk to the audience and say, listen, this is why our movie that we chose is the best. And we try to sell you that movie. And then obviously you guys comment below to let us know if you agree, if you disagree, what movie you really enjoyed during that year. Well, going back to the fact that, we wanted to make this special for TJ, we have chosen to do a Back to the Future, I guess, Sell Me a Movie, where each one of us has picked a Back to the Future film. Since there are 3, there's 3 dudes. So why not just pick 1 through 3? And obviously with this, yes, we do understand that all 3 movies came out in different years. That honestly doesn't matter. Usually we have an algorithm to go through the top 5 movies specifically. So then that way we don't know who chose what movie and it comes out with a surprise. Unfortunately, with this, we kind of had to discuss about it. So each of us knows what movie we chose, but you don't. So with that in mind, Lee, did you want to go first?
Oh
TJ, did you
no!
want to go first?
Save
Or you
this
want
old
me?
man for last.
All right, Todd, you're up.
Okay, I'll go up. All right, let's go to our screens. All right. So, somebody count me down.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so 3 minutes to sell you Back to the Future Part 3. Now, Back to the Future Part 3, I feel doesn't get as much credit as the other films. Now, Back to the Future Part 3 obviously has the all-star cast, as you have seen in the other previous movies, as well as done by Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg, also had his hands in there. Now, here's the thing. You could go into the future, you can go into the past. But what if you go into the past so far that you end up meeting your ancestors from the Western? And you don't actually see that. It's a perfect blend of not only, family action, a good family sitting down movie, but, an adult movie as well. It has its fair shares of jokes in there, but also it plays a key part into Western films. And it kind of, in a way, makes fun of Western films as well. In addition to that, there's a lot of scenes in there that was shot for the ending of Back to the Future 2, mainly because of the fact that this franchise is so big, they knew that they were going to make a third one regardless. And it's not funny, but it's interesting to know that the sequence where Marty McFly actually goes up and he gets the rope tangled, Michael J. Fox was actually getting hung on that sequence. It was not a prop rope. So that's just a little fun fact in there. So just, to show Michael J. Fox support, might as well just watch the third movie as well. But again, all-star cast, you have your running jokes in there. You have the ability to go into the life of Marty McFly and have that sense of, you know what, if I was that character, what would I do? You have this time machine from the future. You need to go back home. You and Doc Brown are stuck during Western times. How are you going to fix that? And it's a great blend of not only science fiction, comedy, drama, but also a Western movie as well. And of course, I can't speak highly enough of this third movie. It plays directly from the second one as well. It's like if they did The Lord of the Rings, where they filmed everything one right after the other. It's wholesome. The soundtrack, of course, has Huey Lewis in the News. Amazing soundtrack as well. And I know it's going to kind of cut short in a way, but that's okay, because I am happy to cut my time short because there's nothing more to say about this movie other than go watch it. It's better than the other two movies, and the fact that it's a lot of fun as well. So that is my time.
All right, I say the guest should be second.
I'm okay with that. You forgot to mention ZZ Top in Back to the Future 3, bro.
Okay, I did forget about that.
That's okay. I don't need 3 minutes to sell what I'm going to sell, but count me down. I'll give you hell for a little bit.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, boys. Back to the Future 2. Here's why. You get to go into the future. There's flying cars. There's hoverboards. There is a Miami baseball team that didn't exist in '89. Now it's Florida Marlins, but they almost picked a World Series winner when the Cubs. They're a year short. There's a Cafe 80s in the future. So not only do you get to go to the future, you get the Cafe 80s. So you get to go back to the 80s. And then on top of that, you get to go to the 50s in Back to the Future 2. So you get every little gap. You get like 30 years out, pretty much. And you get to see 2 Marty McFlys. You get to see Elizabeth Shue, if you're a Karate Kid fan. At that point, Karate Kid 3 is probably out and she's not in it. But if you liked her in Karate Kid or Adventures in Babysitting, she's in that movie too. I mean, there's not much more I need to say than that. You could see the Gray's Sports Almanac. Needles, a.k.a. Flea, from Red Hot Chili Peppers, makes an appearance. There's Pizza Hut pizzas that turn into, if you hydrate on level 4, you get a mini pizza turns into a big pizza. You got fruit bowls coming out of the ceiling. You've got virtual reality glasses, TVs with basically picture-in-picture on steroids. You can have as many channels as you want pretty much going. And Jaws 19 is a movie in Back to the Future 2. So I don't know what else I need to say about Back to the Future 2, but it is a great movie. And are you guys sold yet?
I love all 3 of them, so I can't really say yes or no.
I'm just if I'm sold, that's a new record for a sell.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of this, right? Go ahead. I'm assuming you're done. You're
I am.
good?
No, I was trying to improv it and see if anyone's ever said we're sold within like a minute.
I think like within maybe the first 2 episodes that we did, I think so. And it was basically movies that we've never seen before. So being able to do that, we were able to hear what that other movie was about. But I will say though that number 2, and this will give kudos towards your movie. Number 2 is my favorite. So when you picked number 2, I was very disappointed because it was like, I wanted number 2. But obviously you're the guest, so you get number 2.
I do love the. I mean, we'll let Lee go, but I was gonna say number 1. Yeah, let's let him go before I say anything, but I'll remember it.
Unless you just want to sell my movie before I start. I mean,
no, you're good. You go for it.
Well,
I already sold the movie. I'm tired.
Well, let us all not forget too. Like they actually came out with the newspaper that you personally got for me. That's hanging up on the wall too.
That was
the second movie.
I tried to get every newspaper I could. And I think I'm down to 1 for myself now.
Yep. USA Today. Marty McFly arrested.
That's great.
McFly arrested. Yeah. All right, good sir. You ready, Lee?
I was born ready. No, actually, I'm not ready, but go for it.
All right, counting down. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So let's start first and foremost about Back to the Future 1. If there wasn't a Back to the Future 1, there wouldn't have been a TJ Sell Me a Movie episode, and definitely Todd wouldn't have a Sell Me a Movie topic either. So let's start off with that. So Back to the Future 1 started what you two have enjoyed. Now, fun fact about this. So if you actually look it up, and this is what I like about it, if you look at Michael J. Fox when he started in this movie, apparently when they picked him and had him be an actor, many people didn't realize, did you know at the time of filming, Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly, was technically older in real life than George McFly? If that doesn't spark a interesting thought process. And the cool thing is Marty McFly is practically the same age in real life as his mother was, Leah Thompson, back in the Back to the Future filming. So if that doesn't throw an interesting twist on the whole, hey mom, let's make out in the car during the whole enchantment under the sea thing, they were technically the same age, even though she was portraying that she was 17 in the film. But with all that said and done, I do have to give the Back to the Future trilogy a lot of props, but you guys wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Back to the Future 1 in the star cast of Michael J. Fox. You had Christopher Lloyd, Leah Thompson. Oh, and let's not forget Thompson Wilson, which is Biff, the guy who many people didn't like or liked based on his acting. I thought he did really good as a bully. And then Crispin Glover was, of course, the father. But other than that, I'm pretty much done with a minute 15. So you guys can continue.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah.
It's just a genius movie all around.
Yeah, I had to rewatch it today just so I knew what I was talking about, because I was like, oh, I can just watch the trailer. But I picked up parts in that movie that I didn't realize
it's like
I missed.
the little subtleties, just like Old Man Peabody's tree farm, and it's Twin Pines Mall. And then driving away, as he's getting shot at, Marty McFly takes out a tree, and then at the end of the movie, it's called Lone Pine Mall.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, just November 5th, 1955. That date is just always playing in my head with Christopher Lloyd. It's genius.
It was.
And just all the odes. Oh, no. And all the odes, like just when you got Marty playing the guitar, and he's doing like a little duck walk like Chuck Berry, and then Marvin Berry's like, Chuck, it's me, your cousin Marvin. You know that sound you're looking for? And when I was little, I didn't get it, but now I get it.
Yeah,
And it's interesting how you brought up those facts about like the mall, the farm, that kind of thing. So like even today, like you have to keep in mind when that movie came out, I mean, we weren't of age per se, like it was a movie. Great, it was a great movie. And as we grew up, believe it or not, I think we started growing to respect it because we realized where it was going. But if you actually like, I literally just watched the movie again today. That movie was put together so well, meaning like it literally took all the details of what traveling back in time could have been like, along with how certain circumstances that he did in the past affected the future. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, here's a mistake, here's a time travel, assumption that could happen. It's kind of like if you watch Back to the Future 1 and how the doc was talking to Marty the whole time going, do not tell me what's going to happen 30 years from now because you can change the time continuum, whatever. Well, think of all the space movies that time travel has. What's the one thing? Hey, we can't meet our parents in the past because it can change, the time continuum, or it can change things. And if you watch Back to the Future, I mean, they did a phenomenal job, especially when he goes and he comes back at the very end of the movie and his dad comes in. His dad is really confident. And he was like, hey, Biff, are you done waxing my car? And then Biff was like, yep, just put on the second coat. Now, come on, Biff, don't be pulling my chain, And then Biff was like, my bad. I was just saying I was finishing up the first one. What I'm saying? It was just the way that they turned the concept of how that movie started to how it ended. I mean, honestly, I thought it was flawless. I mean, my buddies give me access to his movies anywhere, so I'm going to watch the second and third one again, because now I have to. It was so well put together, so well.
Absolutely. Yeah, just little like in the beginning with the cake, like Uncle Jailbird Joey, and then he goes back to he's like, better get used to these bars, kid.
Yeah.
Like just little things like that if you pick up on, you're like, oh, that's very clever.
And then the mom comes around and goes, yeah, he likes it. Every time we pull him out, he gets upset. So we put him back in there. He loves his pen or whatever. And I'm like, huh.
And like the life preserver joke, like, and then like, I'll have a Pepsi free. If you want some, you got to pay for it, kid.
Yeah.
Because like he wants to order Tab and he wants to order Pepsi free, but they don't have Tab yet, and they don't have Pepsi free.
Not to like assume, but it'd be interesting to find the details of Back to the Future 1 to see how many of that was actually improv or what lines was improv versus from script. And there's a lot of movies that are known for that. Like Avengers had one with Spider-Man, that kind of thing, but it would be interesting to see what Michael Jackson added.
Michael Jackson was in it now?
Michael J. Fox?
Michael J. Fox. Sorry. It had a J in it, It's better than the whole Sandra Bullock thing. Anywho.
Hey,
watch that episode. Everybody will know what I'm talking about if you remember the Sandra Bullock comment. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Michael J. Fox did an amazing job, but it would be interesting to see what he improv'd.
Like Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis, like going to your thing of being improv, I'm curious on how many rewrites that they had to do or how many editions of the script that they did until it was final, like a final script. Because going back to what TJ was saying on how there's little things in there where it plays back to the future part of the baby with the bars. He cries whenever we take him out, so we put him in there, like that kind of thing. Like, okay, writing a screenplay, did they automatically think that, or was it when they were doing a read through, they're like, what would be funny if we added this? Okay, well, how does that sound? Now you're going through another read through. Like, actually, you know what? Let's do this in the beginning, and then later on, we'll go ahead and add that again. So I wonder on how many like rewrites I had to go through too.
I'm sure a few, but yeah, that's why I can't write stuff, because if I start writing, I don't stop, and then I go from like writing a Back to the Future movie to writing a SpongeBob SquarePants episode. Like I just go all over the place. Like I can't keep it straight.
Then the T-Rex comes out and oh crap, this is Jurassic Park now.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I would do.
Unfortunately, I got one loss on Back to the Future Part 3. I mean, it is like it's not Jurassic Park 3 of the Jurassic Park trilogy, but it is, it is what it is. Still love it though. Still fighting for it.
I
But
never liked it growing up, but I've got more of appreciation for it as I get older. I do want to make wake up juice one of these days. Don't know how, but I think there's some recipe out there, and I'm sure it's awful, but it'd probably wake you up.
probably with
It's like
energy
Tabasco and pickle juice, and I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff in it.
All right. Well, of course, we're going on an hour and 10 minutes, so we do know that, it's about 10 o'clock right now. But thank you, TJ, first off and foremost, for making the time to actually being part of us today, being a special guest. Along with that, too, we would love to have your whole crew with us someday. So, get back to them. If they're interested, we'd love to have them. One more time on where they can actually find Rock Detention Podcast.
Yeah, so Facebook, do Rock Detention Podcast, I believe is the actual title on Facebook. If you go to Instagram, it's just Rock Detention. And like I said, in the bio, there's a little like link tree that's got a link to everything, YouTube and our podcast spots and stuff, like just iTunes for podcasts and Amazon, Google, the whole works. But yeah, live on YouTube most Tuesdays around 8:30 Central Time. You can see all our videos up there or listen to whatever. If you're driving or on a run or whatever at work, put it in your headphones in. Don't have to watch it, but it sometimes, it's like watching stand-up comedy. It's a little bit better than just listening. So little things like that. But yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, and check us out. And buy a bunch of Cavalier Family merchandise.
Thank you for the plug-in. Love you for that. So yeah, if for everybody, you heard TJ, go check him out. Also with this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit and like the follow us on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere you can, because as much support as possible. Again, that merchandise link is in the description below. Check that out. We actually have a special shirt that will be live later tonight/tomorrow, which is actually a special design that TJ created for the actual independent movie that we are trying to do. Again, all the funds from the website, every purchase and stuff actually goes towards the independent filming, the podcasting. It's just being able to bring in revenue to do what we love. So if you love this, then just go ahead and show us the support, because again, shirts, fanny packs, drinkware, leggings, sweatpants, it's all there for you and for your choosing as well. And TJ, again, thank you so much for joining us today. And for all of you out there, what do you think is the best movie out of the three Back to the Future, 1 through 3? Who do you think sold the best movie to you, whether if it would be TJ, Lee, or myself? And also leave a comment below on what random year you guys want us to actually go through. Because again, every single show it is at random. It's not chronological, because next week will be 2019. So we'll be going over that year specifically. So leave a comment below to let us know what year you want to see us go over. Also, if you are an independent movie director, producer, we haven't had one on here yet, but we would love to have one on here. Talk about your movies, kind of do exactly what we've been doing, is making sure that everybody knows who you are and show your artwork and show your creativity. So with that, want to thank you guys for coming out to watch us. And next week again, same time, Thursday, 8:45, Lee and I. So I hope you all have a good night.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yes, absolutely. Take care, DJ.